Good morning, everyone. I am Halima. I am a microbiology enthusiast and an aspiring nutritionist. On this channel, I will be sharing simplified explanation and interesting facts about microbiology to nutrition and dietetics. In this video, I will be starting from the basics. The topic of today's video is Introduction to Microbiology, including its history and scope. So, microbiology is basically the study of living organism which is almost impossible to be seen by naked eyes. These microorganisms includes bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoa, algae, and it has a huge impact on our life. Starting with the PPT, exploring the invisible universe that shapes our world, from the smallest bacteria to the most complex cellular process that sustain life on Earth. Let's move on the next slide. What is microbiology? Microbiology is the scientific study of microscopic organisms, living entities too small to be seen with the naked eyes, as I said earlier. These tiny life forms, typically measuring less than zero point 0.1 millimeters, including bacteria, viruses, fungi, algae, and protists. So, microbiology is a profound study of microorganisms, starting from the smallest to the biggest. So, microbiology is just now the study of those bacteria which are huge in size or which had or has or will have a huge impact on our life, but it is study of all the sort of microorganisms from the smallest to the largest, or you can say biggest. It can be bacteria, it can be virus, it can be any sort of fungi, it can be any sort of algae, it can be any sort of protozoa, but it will always be the study of living organisms. Despite their invisible nature, microorganisms are the most abundant and diverse form of life on our planet, outnumbering all other living things combined and playing crucial roles in every ecosystem. Guys, many years ago, like 100 and many years ago, people were not even aware about the existence of microorganisms. They were not really aware that microorganisms were part of our daily life. They existed in us, they existed on us, it were around us, but people were not aware of this thing. But it has a huge impact on our, also about its huge impact on our lives. Moving on the next slide, the pioneers who opened our eyes. Many of you must be wondering, why are we even studying microbiology? What is the use of studying microbiology? Who even discovered microbiology? There might be many questions coming in your mind, but yes, Antony van Leeuwenhoek in 1676. Guys, please note the date in 1676. This person, Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Before this, I think the word microorganism did not even exist, and people were not really aware of what microorganisms were and what huge impact it had on our life. So, in 1676, the Dutch trapper and a self-taught scientist became the first person to observe and describe microorganisms. Antony van Leeuwenhoek was the first self-taught scientist. Okay, guys, please contemplate for a second. This person was a self-taught scientist, and being a self-taught scientist, he discovered microorganisms and described microorganisms using a handcrafted microscope with 300x magnification. Also, uh, also which he called animalcules. This person in 1676, this Dutch trapper and self-taught scientist, became the first person to observe and describe microorganism, which he called animalcules. He gave a particular name to the microorganism, which was known as animalcules. Also, using handcrafted microorganism with magnification up to 300x, he discovered bacteria, protists, and sperm cell. He used handcrafted microorganisms and discovered bacteria, protists, and sperm cells. This person, nowadays we have advanced level of microscope, from simple microscope to compound microscope. But this person Antony van Leeuwenhoek used a handcrafted microorganism in the year 1676 when he discovered microorganism, and then he discovered many different bacteria, protists, and sperm cells. Now let's go on the revolutionary tools. Leeuwenhoek's simple yet powerful microscope opened an entirely new world to human observation. So, as I said, people before this did not even know that things like microorganism even existed. It was this person, Antony van Leeuwenhoek, who made people aware of this thing. So, after his microscope was simple but yet powerful, His detailed drawing and description laid the foundation for microbiology. Now, over here, at that time, there were no cameras and there were no mobile phones that would help him to capture the details or keep any proof with him that he has discovered a microorganism or he has seen something under a handcrafted microorganism. In order to have a proof of a different microorganism, in order to show and display it in front of people, or show it to display his discovery in front of people, he started drawing those microorganisms which he discovered under a microscope. And also he had a very good description of this microorganism which laid the foundation for microbiology, providing the life existed at a scale previously unimaginable. Now the jump to revolution, as Antony van Leeuwenhoek was the person who discovered microorganism and named and gave it a particular name, but there were also many other scientists which were responsible for doing many other things in microbiology. They were responsible in discovering different things, but their main concept was microbiology. Now, Louis Pasteur proved that microorganism is responsible for causing disease. Louis Pasteur was the person who was responsible for telling people or discovering that each that microorganism is one of those particular things which is responsible for causing disease, and developed pasteurization. His Swan-neck flask experiments definitely disapproved spontaneous generation theory in 1860s. Now next come to Robert Koch. Established Koch postulates the gold standard for proving a microorganism causing a specific disease. Now, if Louis Pasteur was responsible for discovering that microorganism is responsible for causing disease, Robert Koch was responsible for discovering that each disease has its own microorganism which is responsible for causing diseases. For example, at his time of discovery or his time of research, he identified bacteria causing anthrax, tuberculosis, and cholera. He discovered that all these three diseases have different bacteria which is responsible for causing them. It was not just one bacteria which was responsible for causing certain type of disease, but every disease had its own bacteria which is responsible for causing them. For example, for tuberculosis, we know that Mycobacterium tuberculosis is a bacteria which is responsible for causing tuberculosis. And same there's different for anthrax, and same there's different for cholera. Now there is medical revolution. Together their work transformed medicine from folklore to science, establishing the foundation for modern infectious disease treatment and prevention. Through their discoveries and through their finding, they they discovered many treatments and preventive measures in order to in order to prevent and almost eradicate many kind of infectious disease. We as people, or many people in general, they know that they know a very simple process of healing. If you ask someone that what do you do when you get sick, they just have a very simple answer by saying that whenever we get sick, or we just go to the doctor, he prescribes us some medicine, we eat it, and after some time we feel good. But behind this, there's layers of hard work, there's layers of discovery, which there's many person who were responsible for discovering these vaccines, these medicines which we are consuming it today. Yes. The microbiologists like Louis Pasteur, Antony van Leeuwenhoek, Robert Koch, these people literally discovered different kind of bacteria and different kind of living organism which were responsible for causing disease. And after this discovery, the foundation of microbiology was laid. And because of this medicines, different kind of medicines were made for every particular disease. And then there was a discovery of antibiotic, which helped in preventing infection disease. Until date, we use antibiotics for preventive infection disease. So these were the people who were responsible for creating medicines, or for explaining people that these bacteria are responsible for causing this disease. And then only the medicine in the market and the vaccine in the market came into existence, and the doctors started prescribing it. And doctors started prescribing it and advising it to the patient. Otherwise, there was nothing that even doctor could do it. Let's move on to the next next slide. The golden age of microbiology. Now let's study the golden age of microbiology. Major discoveries of microbiology. Here it is. These are the major discoveries in 1876. Anthrax bacillus. Anthrax bacillus is a bacteria which is responsible for causing anthrax. Anthrax is a disease and it is caused by a bacteria known as Bacillus anthracis. Anthracis is a bacteria which is responsible for causing anthrax, bacillus, and it was identified by Koch as the first bacterial pathogen established a link between specific microbes and disease. It literally established a link between microbes and disease. This was the first disease. Anthrax bacillus was the first disease which linked which linked the specific reason, the specific, which had a link between, which made a link between microbes and disease. Before this, people were not really aware of the link, that why a certain kind of or a particular disease is caused in someone's body, or any certain kind of things is happening. They were not really aware that what is responsible behind them. But anthrax bacillus was the first disease, and bacillus anthracis was the first bacterial pathogen established the link between microbes and disease. Now there is, in 1882, tuberculosis was discovered, and Koch discovered that Mycobacterium tuberculosis, the causative agent TB, one of the history's deadliest disease. Now he discovered that Mycobacterium tuberculosis is the bacteria which is responsible for causing tuberculosis, which is still date the most deadliest disease. Then in 1884, pure culture technique, development of solid media and sterilization media revolutionized microbiology research and enables isolation of pure bacterial culture. So in 1884, pure culture techniques were developed, and then in 1890s, immunology foundation, discovery of antibiotics. Before 1890s, there were no antibiotics available in the market. There were no I don't think there was micro antibiotics even existed. So in 1890s, the antibiotics got discovered, and the development of the first vaccine marked the beginning of modern immunology and preventive disease. So after the discovery of antibiotics, the first vaccine was produced, which began the modern immunology and preventive medicine. Now let's move on the next slide. Modern microbiology. How did modern microbiology emerge? Many of us know that penicillin was the first antibiotic which was introduced by Alexander Fleming accidentally. Penicillin was not introduced intentionally by Alexander Fleming, but it was introduced accidentally. But Alexander Fleming's accidental discovery of penicillin launches the antibiotic era. His accidental discovery launched the antibiotic era. Since that time, antibiotic became a part of our life to prevent infectious disease, saving millions of lives and transforming infectious disease treatment. Yes, penicillium was responsible for saving millions of lives and transforming infectious disease treatment. So yes, we all know that penicillium was not an intentional discovery; it was an accidental discovery. But yes, it was, responsible for saving millions of lives and transforming infectious treatment. Then there was, in 1944, DNA as genetic material. Oswald Avery proves that DNA carries genetic information, setting the stage for molecular biology and genetic engineering breakthrough. Now let's move on to the next slide. The microbial universe. The microbial universe includes bacteria, virus, protists, and fungi. We all know that bacteria is a single-celled prokaryotic without a nucleus, found everywhere on the earth from soil to human gut, essential for nutrient cycle, and some cause disease. Virus obligate intercellular parasites containing genetic material in a protein coat cannot reproduce independently and require host cells to multiply. Protists, diverse group of eukaryotic microorganisms including amoebas, paramecian algae, bridge the gap between bacteria and complex multicellular life. And fungi is an eukaryotic organism including yeast, molds, mushrooms, crucial decomposers in ecosystem and source of antibiotics and food products. We know that bacteria is a prokaryotic microorganism which has no nucleus, and virus is an obligate intercellular parasite containing genetic material in the protein coat Fungi is a eukaryotic organism including yeast, molds, and mushrooms. At the same time, protists it is a diverse group of eukaryotic microbes including amoebas. Moving on the next slide, where microbes thrive. Microorganisms are present everywhere. Microorganisms are also present in extreme conditions on human body, and on human body, and in everyday spaces. If we talk about extreme environments, many in deep ocean vents, arctic ice, acidic hot springs, and highly radioactive zones, hot specialized microbes called the bacteria which lives here which thrive in these environments are known as extremophiles, because they survive in extreme environments, extreme conditions. But you will definitely find microorganisms in these places as well. There is no such place on earth where you will not find microorganisms. Microorganisms are present everywhere. If you talk about the human body, we have good bacteria which aids in digestion. Yes, and there's bacteria on us, and there's bacteria inside us. There are many bacteria which are responsible for causing many infectious disease and many perilous dangerous diseases in human body. Also, at the same time, bacteria microorganisms are present in everyday spaces. Bacteria are present. Microorganisms such as bacteria are present in kitchen, washroom, doorknobs, smartphones, soil team with diverse microbial communities. Most are harmless or beneficial. Yeah, at the same time, microorganisms present in our everyday space are harmless and at the same time beneficial as well, playing crucial roles in nutrient cycle and ecosystem health. So this was the introduction to microbiology, the history, and introduction to microbiology, the history and scope. Over here, three things have been simplified, that microorganisms are present everywhere. We know that even if you try to find microorganisms in extreme environments, you will 110% find it over there, and it is 200%. On the other hand, microorganisms are present on human body, which is 200% sure, and every species, of course, there are certain microorganisms which surround us on daily basis. There are preventive measures, but it remains with us. Like, we cannot finish it forever, but we can subside its effect, like by taking preventive measures such as cleaning our house, maintaining the hygiene system, sanitizing our house. A proper hygiene system is very much important in order to prevent these microorganisms in our everyday spaces. But yes, it will never end, but of course we can kill it, we can prevent it for a certain period of time, but we need to do it every day on daily basis. It's not just a one time job. So in the next slide, microbiology in action, real world application transforming industries and improving lives. So if we talk about the scope of microbiology, let's start from medicines. Antibiotics, vaccine, diagnostic test, gene therapy. Microbiologists develop treatments for infectious disease, cancer, and genetic disorder using microbial system. Food industry, fermentation produces bread, cheese, yogurt, beer, and wine. Food safety testing, prevention contamination, while probiotic enhance nutrition value and shelf life. In environment, bioremediation use micro. There was like. There I've heard many people saying that how is micro organism or microbes even responsible for helping us in the environment. So here is the answer, that bioremediation uses like microbes to clean up oil spills and toxic waste. Yes, microbes are used to kill and to prevent just clean up oil spills and toxic wastewater treatment. Plants rarely rely on bacterial communities to process sewage and purify water. Yes, of course, bacteria are also responsible for doing such stuff. Then there is biotechnology. Genetically engineered bacteria produce insulin, growth hormones, and industrial enzymes. Microbes manufacture biofilms, biodegradable plastics, and pharmaceutical compounds. The future of microbiology. Emerging frontiers, synthetic biology and engineered microorganism, personalized medicine based on individual microbiomes, microbes for space exploration and mass colonization, all driven drug discovery using microbial compounds, now there is, what are the career opportunities of a microbiologist and of microbiology? It is in medical microbiology, environmental consulting, pharmaceutical research. You can work with a pharmacist as well in pharmaceutical companies. You can work in food safety company. You can work as a biotechnologist in biotechnology, and you can become an academic research officer. Academic research offer diverse path in this rapidly expanding field. Yes, you can become a very successful academician in the field of microbiology. Also, you can work in pharmaceutical industry and with many pharmacists, with experienced microbiologists. You can also be a part of pharmaceutical research, because microbiologists are responsible for discovering and assisting in making different kind of medicines. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. In the next video, I will be explaining prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell structure and many other things. If you like my video, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you very much.